Fearsome Flyer. The name Marshall Goyer, many people don't realize the war that's out there. A masked warrior tries to protect the streets of South Huntington Beach against rotten crime that pollutes the city. Fear lies in the eyes of the police officers, the Secret Service, and all sources of protection this unsafe land has. Nobody even pays respect to the one who flies out there risking his life for others. He calls himself Fearsome Flyer. At a young age, a boy who lost his wings lurked in the shadows of pain, hatred, denial. He lost the balance and coordination of his legs and had no way to express his anger except silent agony. Eastlake High School. Young Marshall. When electromagnetism happens and there's a wire from each negative and positive charge wrapped around a nail, then what would happen if I did the same thing at a larger scale? So if teacher, this is what a pen is to ink, as a pencil is to what? So if I wrap a sword with wire, would it have enough voltage for me to aim my sword at a building, turn the pack on, and be pulled towards it? He couldn't even help but think, what else do you do when you're in a wheelchair and you hate your life? But a superhero needs to walk. How could I do that? So he began thinking, gathering all the supplies needed, mapping a solution, and engineering his dream. He worked hard, making a skeletal support, putting all fear aside, only accepting the answer that his plan would work. And then it happened, the birth of Fearsome Flyer. Quick digital shots of Fearsome Flyer swinging his sword on the side of a building, the iconic view of him holding a sword underneath his back and under his legs, surfacing the magnetic attraction being pulled to the metal of a moving black Lamborghini, and Fearsome Flyer's back towards the camera, arms over the head, gripping the sword. Switch turned on, and a luminous electrical voltage display from the tip of the sword. I think tonight I'll test my new equipment out. I'll go out to where my streets turn into a bridge, where it crosses a freeway. Maybe if the balancing portion works, I'll point the sword at a car and see if I can follow it. At midnight that night, he snuck out of the house and left for the H Street Bridge, with no one to talk to, no one to trust, and nothing to live for. It didn't matter to him. All that mattered was the truth that is still hiding, nowhere to go, nowhere to come from. Well, this is it. It'll work. But if it doesn't, death don't scare me. I've already experienced it in my coma. People just don't realize that if you're out of it, you're still fully with the program inside. So if someone doesn't fly, nothing can change. He crawls up the chain fence at the top. He sits back towards the freeway, holds the wire-wrapped sword in front of him, and turns the electric charge sword on. As a result, he is pulled over backwards to find himself almost flying and trailing a speeding black Lamborghini. To shield his identity, he has his robe in his face. Marshall learns how to ride an electromagnetic current like a wave, giving us an iconic stance He begins pointing the sword to other buildings made of metal. The same thing occurs, changing the flyer's navigation course. A few thugs in black burglar masks are breaking into ticket sale booths, stealing cash from registers. Marshall sees this and turns off the electromagnetism to land nearby. He accidentally knocks down a trash can. Marshall hides behind a pillar to not be seen. Probably nothing, an alley cat maybe. Now, would you get to work? The boy had to figure out a plan of attack. This was a chance to prove what he was. Marshall grabs the trash can lid and throws it like a frisbee towards one of them. The thug spots a hidden figure. "Guys, we've got company." The masked burglar points his index fingers towards the metal wall. On each side of Marshall, others turn on a climbing dial. Electric voltage pins Marshall to one area from both of the thug's index fingers, but not for long. Marshall points the sword at the wall and turns the sharp object on. Voltage comes from the point of the sword, introducing iconic stance 2. He swings from the ceiling, does a somersault, and turns his pack on. He starts to leave, but comes back, forgetting he needs to conceal his identity. "I didn't come back to fight. I came back for this." He pulls off one of the thug's masks and puts it on him. He flies off in search of more crime to punish. Meanwhile, a thug calls their boss. "Dr. P, yes. Hey boss, we was robbing ticket sales like you wanted, and someone spotted us. Not just anyone, him. Someone with the technology you're still grasping. I want you to have him join us. But boss, with his power, I don't think he's going to want to join us." Dr. P looks towards a glass safe and wires attached to metal sheets. "I want you to make him join us." Ninjas crawl down from ropes tied to the ceiling. On the ground, ninjas are training with each other. A girl about the age of Marshall is wearing a white karate suit, holding the hand of Dr. P. "You see these men. One day you will master these skills, and you will love me for what I have done. One day you will blossom into one of us. Nothing will matter. One day, Jennifer, one day you will forget your parents and join us forever." Back to the freeway, young Marshall. There's nothing to look back on. His black pajama bottoms and black shirt tell the tale of how dark his life was. After following a few cars, Marshall comes upon a SeaWorld tower. He does his third stance. His legs seem to stick to the pole. He is sideways like Spider-Man. He points his sword and flies off. The building with pointed rooftops next to Freeway 5 in National City, one of the thugs standing on the roof is luring Marshall to Dr. P's hideout. He spots the flying Marshall. "You can run, but you can't hide." The thug outsmarts Marshall and pulls out the trash can lid. He uses it to ricochet the Volt. It bounces off another direction. Marshall swoops down to the thug. "No one gets away from me." "Chill, man. What are you, some kind of freak or something?" "No, just disturbed. I can figure that out, but you're a little young to fight crime." "Never." The young fighter hoovers after the thug. The man runs, grabs his gun, aims for the kid, and pulls the trigger several times. The bullets race for Marshall, but don't penetrate his clothes. How? An electromagnetic force field. Marshall speeds on, chasing the thug across every point of the building. At the far end of the building, the thug falls in silence, out of sight. The thug is put in safety, but by the evil ninja clan. Marshall looks over to see nothing. After 5 seconds, Marshall meets a masked ninja who knocks him out. When he gains back consciousness, he finds himself in Dr. P's hideout. He's coming out of it. I'll be right there. Where are my parents? They're a bit tied up right now, but I assure you they're in good hands. Jennifer lost the war by the offspring. The parents are in the living room. Immediately guns go off and break the glass by the door. Ninja assassins enter the room. All hell breaks loose. All right, get down and pray for your life. The others tie a rope around the two's wrists and ankles. A ray is tied around their mouths, which makes them lose consciousness. They are carried out the door and loaded into the back of a black SUV. Their bodies are put into the wooden caskets as they drive to a nearby cliff next to the beach, La Jolla. The back opens and the caskets are dumped off to the edge. The next shot is extreme close-up of Jennifer's eye, the killer's, her parents, and finally her other eye. Marshall is lying on the ground, taking a gasp of air. Dr. P walks down the stairway to Marshall, Jennifer behind him. Dr. P, good morning. Fearsome Flyer, what am I doing here? You know eventually you'll get caught. Correction. The question is, when do I get caught? You seem to forget, Flyer. I run this city. Anyone can least expect the evil I have become, and you, of all people, should know nobody cares. No one is coming for you. Not to save you, nothing. Don't you see it? You're worthless, Flyer. I see you're at the least bit scared. What is it? Where am I? Why am I here? Well, if you must know, you have something I want, and I have something you want. You have nothing I would want. What do I have to offer? Nothing. You are more important than you think. I have been watching you. You have already mastered the technology I have to yet grasp. I have nothing to offer for it. But her. What, a girl has nothing to offer? But that's where you're wrong. She has nothing now, but as she trains to one day be a skilled ninja assassin, she will repay you for your technological assistance. You mean I'll master these skills, but where does he fit in? One day, child, he will be your mentor. With a blend of our skills, we will be powerful. Wrong. I will not help you unless you help me. Give me spare ninja warrior attire. Your wish is granted. Like the trendy spandex used for the new Batman costume, Marshall is fitted for an armored black chest plate, muscular black covered arms, and black gloves. Also, bulging black spandex pants, black boots, and a black kerchief around the mouth with black cloth covering everything but the eyes. He has black shades there, a holster for the sword, a black cover protecting the electromagnetic fueling agent. Dangling from his head wrap are 2 pieces of black cloth, waving into the night breeze. This vision is ended with a shot of Marshall as Fearsome Flyer, who draws his sword and activates its voltage. Now that you have gotten what you want, it is time to return the favor. I want you to teach me the secret of how to fly. The two are near a workbench. Jennifer nearby, fascinated by the flickering sparks Marshall made with a power saw and metal. Blue and red wires fill the workbench. Music is played as the two work away on different metal projects. I will train Jennifer to fight, and then she is yours. Trust me, you won't regret what you have done. The background fades except for Marshall. The camera circles the Fearsome Flyer, and a dark alley fades in. A mugger confronts a woman. "Give me the purse, lady." He grabs the purse and runs. "Ah, help!" In the shadows, Marshall hears this and acts. He starts running towards the mugger, turns his sword on, and picks up speed, flying to catch up with the mugger. As soon as he does, he turns off the voltage, puts the sword away while in the air, and tackles a man who's running away. Marshall returns the purse and flies away because the lady doesn't know whether to be scared or to be thankful. Dr. P and Jennifer are standing on a blue mat. The only way to appear strong is to make them feel pain. You can't grasp what I'm telling you now, but it's the only way. The only way, Jennifer. Can't you just talk something over? Make a compromise? I wish it was that easy. No, that would be too easy. You see, I want you to have fun. I want you to make them suffer. Now, when I strike at you, you will back away. Yes. No, you don't. You mustn't show them your weak side. Forget pain. What is pain? I'll tell you what it is, Jennifer. All it is fear. You can't show fear, or you won't defeat but be defeated. He strikes at Jennifer's shoulder. She dodges. He tries to trip her with one side. He fails to. And he successfully knocks her off balance. She falls and pouts. No, Jennifer, work those tears off. As a white belt, she has far to go, many skills to train in, and much to learn. Meanwhile, Fearsome Flyer is viewed flying over Petco Park. Evil is all around us. There is no good from bad, no right from wrong. Someone has to set this city straight. Maybe this is my job. Or do I take it into my initiative to do so? I can't find the answer anymore. That is and what will be. I guess how I live for now. A man of fear, a man to be scared of, a man to be thankful for. I don't care anymore. The sun arises. It's a new day. Everything is normal. Or so it seems. It's back to work for the greedy, earning enough to raise a family on, and yet a whole class is ignored. I used to be one alone, it seemed, but there are others who live like I used to be. They live without the option of working, or if they do, they are punished, so they have to depend to live. Everything built for them is overpriced by the greedy. They are looked down on as having nothing to contribute. This is wrong, and one day it will change, or it will be too late. Dr. P walks to the entrance of the Southern Treatment Lab in Chula Vista for the mentally ill, the loony bin. He continues down the hall. Good morning, Dr. P. He continues ignoring the woman. He enters a crowded elevator. What floor? 3. When the elevator reaches floor 3 and the door slides open, he and a few others enter the halls. Dr. P turns to face the door, opens it, and puts his scrubs on. He grasps a clipboard and enters a room with vacant chairs and another nurse. Today, she takes a sharp object out of Peter's hand. Peter is a very special day. Do you know why, class? Because we have a new instructor. He is not any instructor. He is a psychopathologist. He is taking time out of his busy schedule to talk to us. Let me introduce you to Dr. P. Good morning. First, let me tell you, a psychopathologist is a fancy word that just means that I want to be your friend. I want to help you. Let me get to know you, be a part of you. So one day I will see through your eyes and understand you. Then I can help. Do you have any questions? Yeah. How will you understand him when he doesn't even talk? Through many years of research, I assure you, once I have studied your day-to-day routine, I will be able to map out your brain's circuit pathways and better understand what things are dealing with, so I will be able to help. If you study our mind, won't it hurt? The procedure only lasts about an hour, half hour. What I do is proven to be painless. All I do is hook up electrodes at the key areas of study and map out the pathways on a machine used to measure the speed of thought patterns. Wow. How about a big round of applause for Dr. P? Are there any volunteers to go first? A hand rises. Hey, look, Dr. P, we have our winner. They want to be cured from their illnesses. Well, then, sit in this wheelchair and we'll go to the lab. The patient is pushed down the hall and into the lab. Lay on the table and I'll stick these cold electrodes to your head. He puts one on the upper left, one on the upper right, both towards the front, one on the left and right towards the back, and one on the cerebral, and one on the center of front to monitor vision. Adjust the machines, coordinate based on height and weight. How tall are you? 5'9". How much do you weigh? 175 pounds. Dr. P converts these to decibels, types these into the machine and starts it up. A light stream of energy enters the patient. It slowly builds so the body can take the voltage. The volts are now seen from within the brain. The volts are not as steady as they once were, suggesting blocked pathways, a brain improperly developed. The machine is busy printing what it reads. Vision of unwanted memories are seen. It's raining. The patient is now alone in the night. He has a sharp, bloody knife. He's killed someone unwillingly. A quick vision of a stabbed female lying helplessly on the ground is viewed by the audience as well as Dr. P. Dr. P knows what goes on in a psycho's brain. Now he must cure the sick man. Dr. P turns the dial up, increasing the voltage. It starts ripping apart new pathways in the brain tissue uncontrollably. The patient's heart monitor flatlines. Dr. P shuts off the monitor and grins. He chuckles, then laughs into uncontrollable laughter. Outside the hospital, the echo of laughter fills the air. The afternoon is hastened to nightfall in a matter of seconds. Once a car swiftly drives by to close up, Fearsome Flyer is viewed crouching on the ledge of a building. The outside of San Diego Sports Arena is shown as Fearsome Flyer leaps from the building. San Diego Sports Arena. Inside, a hockey game is going on. Suddenly, ropes descend from all around the roof. Dr. P's ninja team climbs down. As the spectators, the three thugs stand up. Okay, nobody move. Yeah, this is not your ordinary stick-up. We're holding this place hostage, and we've got you all surrounded. Our boss wants to send his regards, not for being here, but this place at 10:30 will be wired to set off a series of explosions, weakening the frame of this building and making the ceiling collapse. That means if we don't get what we want and the cops try to spoil our plan, it's goodbye to you, all of you. 2 billion by 10:30, or this place goes up. That's not enough time. The light flickers to off. A while later, they turn on, and there is complete silence. Suddenly, Fearsome Flyer makes his entry, pointing his sword at metal objects, and is pulled towards them by electrical magnetism. He flies everywhere as bullets bounce off his armor. He cuts some of the ninja ropes as the fans flee from safety. The time bomb counts down to 10:30, and there's a series of explosions around the walls of the building. The roof concaves inward, but everyone seems to escape. Fearsome Flyer is seen casting electromagnetic charges from the walkway just outside Sam Goody, the 5th level in Horton Plaza. Who knows, maybe he was meant to do this, punish all the hatred and evil in the world, and expect no thanks in return. Maybe that's why he's known as Fearsome Flyer. He lands in the building and gazes upon the structures. One run-down building in particular catches the Flyer's eyes. An electromagnetic lightning bolt is cast from one of the windows. Fearsome Flyer points his sword at the building and is pulled towards it. Inside the building, Jennifer is receiving assassin training, rapidly catching onto the ninja way. Dr. P stands in the room, mumbling to one of his assassins, who is holding a metal circular object. I should have known you'd be mimicking my technology to one day master it and use it to your advantage. Patience, Mr. Flyer, patience. That's all I have until I've perfected the perfect and ideal plan to rob and steal without being caught. You see, even though you're around, I can't be stopped. Your mind is sick, and so are you. With your technology that you're willingly gave me, I don't care. You see, if I put someone's life in danger, I don't care. If I would in fact draw blood to kill, I don't care. You've gone insane. Do you know how many people's lives you're putting in jeopardy? Who do you think you are anyway? He turns to look straight into Fearsome Flyer's eyes. Psycho, he snickers, then chuckles, then laughs uncontrollably. Fearsome Flyer runs down the mine slide by Barrio Logan, and at the bottom he points his sword at the Coronado Bridge, flies just under it, flips over, and is pulled to fly over the bridge. I am Marshall Goyer by day and someone else by night. My work here has only just begun. There are some that fear me and some who welcome me. Someone must take the responsibility to put an end to the chaos and terrorism and put order back onto the streets. This is chapter 1 of my story, and for every story there is an end. To end my story, I will tell you something I am proud of having transformed to. I am Fearsome Flyer. He walks to the rear of an alley corner where it is raining. He rises a sword and flies away.